I feel like I've been gone for literally 5 ever.
Hello? You're currently on the phone with Kacey K. Yep, that's me.
Welcome back, everybody, to I'm on the phone with Kacey K. You're currently on the phone. I'm assuming you're on the phone listening to this. Wherever you're listening to this, I'm very happy. Are you listening to this from a Samsung refrigerator? If so, is that even possible? I wonder if that's even possible. Do they make those fridges anymore? I should know. I work at a furniture and appliance store, but anyway, it is currently Wednesday, May 6th. We are in May now. I have no idea when the last time I released an episode was. I think it was the day I left for New York, which would have been the 23rd, I think. Anyway, it feels like I've been gone for so long. And I think that's probably a good sign. Maybe I should take more breaks because this whole time I've been like, oh, I want to talk about that in the podcast. Oh, I want to talk about this. Oh, I have to talk about this. Like, I just want to tell you guys about all this stuff. So if you are here listening to me and you're excited to listen, thank you. We have a lot to talk about. So much has happened. And I haven't even written down all of it. Like, I actually stopped writing down stuff because I'm like, there's just no way. Because my New York story is probably going to take up quite a bit. I have some movie reviews I want to talk about. So yeah, I'm excited to talk to you guys. Also, I really did try to have this done by Wednesday because I'm going to start releasing them on Wednesdays now. And I'm telling you that right now so that it actually happens. Because my brain is hard to rewire once I get into a certain schedule or routine, even if that routine is not good. I have a hard time. It's kind of like when you want to start being on time and you're like, all I have to do is leave 5 minutes earlier. Maybe that's just for me, but I think a lot of people probably feel the same way. It's so hard. Once you're used to leaving at a certain time, even if that certain time stresses you out the entire way to wherever you're going, work, school, whatever, and you're like, why do I do this? I do this every time. Like, why didn't I just leave a few minutes earlier? It would have been much less stressed. It's still hard. It's still hard to do. I will say though, as I've gotten older, I like to be early just for my sake. Like, it makes me feel less stressed to be early. I really don't mind getting someplace, even if it's like a half hour early, because I have like read my magazines. I can, edit my notes for the podcast. I can watch TikTok. Like, there's just so much, like, I can delete emails, So I feel better about myself, just less stressed getting places early, not even for the sake of the other people. I guess it does have something to do with the other people if I'm meeting someone, because then I'm annoyed that I'm keeping them waiting. But yeah, it's very hard to change. So my goal is to record Monday nights, edit Monday nights, Tuesday, whatever, release them on Wednesdays. And I've talked to several people and they don't seem to be as bothered by this as I am. Because by the time I would record, I mean, you guys have heard all this already, but I'd record and then like a week later, I'd release the episode. And then so much has already changed. So I don't like that. I want it to be like a day in between and then release because I want it to be as up to date as possible. Plus, I want to be able to tell you guys about the movies I saw the previous weekend. And by the time I do it, the movie review's it's over a week old. So I'm like, I want to be able to tell you guys so that the next weekend, if you guys are wanting to go see movies, you know what to see and you know my opinion. So anyway, just be aware of that. I don't even know if you guys listen on the day that I drop an episode, so it might not even matter to any of you guys. You're like, what day do you drop it anyway? It's been Mondays since I've started this, which is almost in August. It'll be 3 years. It's so weird. 3 years. Seems like I was just here. I mean, this room is messy. You can't really tell behind the camera, but I used to, where was this desk? This desk was over there. This whole room was different. I just sat in this chair and there was just like clutter everywhere. I had this little table that I had my microphone on. I didn't video record, so I didn't have to worry about that, but so much has changed and yet nothing has changed at all. Anyway, I went to New York. I know you guys know about this. Sorry, it's like really wrinkly because I had it in my bag, but I'm like, I need to wear this today. What does it even say? It says the name on everyone's mind. No. The name on everyone's lips is going to be Whitney. I think it's a play on the song she sings, the Roxy, because we went and saw her in Chicago. She did amazing. I'm not even saying that just because I'm a fan of hers. She did really, really good. Like, you cannot deny. This was her last show. Well, the one we went to was like a week before her last show or something. But on her last show, she's reading a magazine and she kind of improvises, and it's something about current day. So like, I can't remember what she said at our show, but she referenced the Mormon wives, the housewives. And then this last show, she was reading the magazines, she said Whitney Leavitt leaves Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and then she did a video like a couple days later saying yes, it's true. Like there's really nothing bad about it, but it wasn't like my end goal. It wasn't even like in my plan. It just kind of fell in my lap, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to take this opportunity. But I mean, now she lives in New York. She's on Broadway, well, not anymore, but she's been on Broadway. She has a movie coming out. She actually is CFO, CCO, Chief Creative Officer of a, what is it even called? Sips? Cool Sips? That's what it's called. Cool Sips, which is like a swig, but in New York. And we went to one. We went to the one at Rockefeller Center, which was downstairs. Rockefeller Center is so cool, but you go downstairs and it's like just a bunch of hallways and like restaurants and shops, and that's where you wait in line for Kelly Clarkson. I probably should tell the story in order, but the floors are it's like all Art Deco. I want a house Art Deco style so bad now. Like I've always liked it. It's like the Great Gatsby theme, like the vibe of the newest movie. If you're curious what Art Deco is, that style is Art Deco, and it was very, very, very popular until it wasn't. And I think it's because it was so opulent, and then people couldn't afford it. Obviously with the Great Depression and I think the wars and all that stuff, so they did away with that. I want to say that's why. Should we Google? We can just do a quick Google. The decline of Art Deco wasn't due to a single event, but rather a perfect storm of economic, social, and political shifts. Exactly what I just said. That made the style feel out of touch with the world. By the time World War II ended, the movement's luxury at all costs energy had been replaced by the need for practical, mass-produced efficiency. One is the Great Depression. Two, World War II and resource scarcity. Three, the rise of international style. I don't know what that one is. During and after the war, a new philosophy took over: modernism. I don't like modernism. Cultural hangover. By the late 1940s, Art Deco was associated with the Jazz Age and the Roaring Twenties, eras that ended in catastrophic depression and global war. So yeah, I was right. And I've never looked that up before, but I kind of pieced that together in my mind. I did see, sorry, I'll get into all this, but I did see a TikTok about one of the coolest skylines, the coolest downtown cities in America, and one of them was Detroit. What he was talking about, and it was because Detroit was so rich. It was like the richest city at one point in the whole world, and then obviously I think it was the Great Depression happened, and it just was a ghost town overnight. Like it went into complete shambles. But the reason he was saying it's one of the coolest city lines is because it has very, very old historic buildings from this era. And basically, Detroit was so poor, has been so poor, that they have not been able to afford to tear the buildings down. Like they can't even tear a building down because they can't afford it. So now that I don't know if I think Detroit's doing better, I would imagine, but developers are coming in and starting to redo these old buildings. Like they're seeing like, oh, we can't tear this down, but we can fix it up and make it more modern or whatever. And that's what they're doing. So like there's all these really cool old buildings, but now they're like luxury apartments, office buildings, but they still have the cool facade on the outside. They're not minimalist like all these new buildings. Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. Okay, I'll start with our trip to New York. So our flight was at midnight on the 22nd/23rd, and we got to the airport early because we wanted to go to the Centurion Lounge. If you guys have a Amex Platinum, do you guys call it Amex or Amex? Because I have this debate all the time with a few people. It's Amex. I'm not going to take any other questions. It's Amex. It's American Express, not American Express. Amex Express. Anyway, don't call it Amex. It's Amex. If you have the Platinum card, you can go into the lounge, and there's a new Centurion Lounge so there's the Delta Sky Lounge, which is in a much better place than the Centurion Lounge. I'm shocked the Centurion Lounge is in the B terminal. I'm not saying I'm rich by any means at all, but American Express is known to be more luxurious, the luxury card, especially Platinum. The Centurion Lounge is supposed to be like exclusive, like whatever. Luxury is all about convenience. Being rich is all about being convenienced, not inconvenienced. It is extremely inconvenient to get to this Centurion Lounge, just so people are aware. It's kind of a jaunt. So if you're flying out of Delta I thought was only on the A terminal, but it turns out it is on the B terminal as well, on the east side. The lounge is super cool. It's a couple levels. You can reserve showers there. It's an like all you can eat buffet. They have this rooftop bar thing that you can go up as like a lounge. It's like got a roof on it, but the walls are all open. So that was pretty cool. They have little rooms you can reserve or just like little nooks you can go and just relax. So it's like basically a place for people to wait. Or if you have a layover, you can go and take a shower if you just feel like you need to wash off. Like It's just a place to be pampered and rest and not bothered by annoying people sitting in the common area. So we did that. We got on the plane. I was upgraded to Comfort Plus, thank goodness. Even with Comfort Plus, my legs were very unhappy. I thought for sure I would sleep, but it was one of those times where it's like you sleep and then you wake up. It's just like constant waking up, whatever. But on the way there, I watched Aaron Brockovich. I've always wanted to watch this movie. This is a movie I'd always see at like Blockbuster Video or like on the posters, like, outside those places. If you're unaware, it's a true story based on a true story starring Julia Roberts. I think this was her first Oscar, I want to say. If not, she did win an Oscar for it. And so this story actually, Erica Jane from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, her ex-husband is the lawyer they're portraying in this movie. And it's real, like it's a true story. And so basically Aaron Brockovich went and worked for Tom Girardi. I know this is true, but when you're talking and you're like, well, what if this isn't true? She said it so many times. Anyway, it is true. But they changed the names. They changed the name of like the lawyers and everything. It's not the same name. Basically, what happens is Erin Brockovich is a single mom of 3 kids. She's trying to find a job, trying to do anything. She gets in a car wreck, not her fault. She has to sue the guy. She hires his lawyer. They lose, and then she comes back and she's like, for that, like, I'm going to work for you, and you're not going to take no for an answer. She's kind of like a boss. Not kind of. She is a boss. She doesn't take any shit from anybody. She is very quick-witted and things she says is so funny. I've loved the description on the movie. It says, a woman who dresses provocatively or something. I can't remember what it was. Basically, they're insinuating she dresses like not professionally. And this is shot in the 90s. And it's so funny because you look at her outfits, and yes, especially in Utah, I would say maybe Utah County. Let's just clarify that. Utah County, they'd be like, oh, that's not a good, you can't wear that. Like, that's so inappropriate. Like, it shows your shoulders. But compared to nowadays standards, I think her outfits were pretty tame. They all looked good too. Like, I think she could have dressed even more scantily clad. But anyway, I watched it on the way there and I kind of would like see bits and pieces of it. So I didn't really get the full gist. So I ended up watching it on the way home too. She deserved that Oscar. She did such a good job. And that is a great movie. If you want to watch it, I can't remember I don't know when it was filmed, for sure in the 90s. Oh, anyway, I forgot the whole plot of the story. So she's just like a paralegal type person. She's just like shuffling papers, not really like a specific job. And she finds this case that really piques her interest. And she's like, why is this and this and this like happening? And it's this small town in California somewhere, kind of by Barstow. It's like in the desert. And she sees that this plant, I don't know if it's a power plant or it's some kind of big factory plant thing. They have paid for doctor's appointments for like most of the people in town, and she can't figure out why. So she goes and asks the people, like, why are they paying your bills? Like, what's this and this and this? And they're like, oh, they're just taking precaution because they said there was a spill. And she's like, interesting. So she does more investigating. She finds out they polluted the water, and all these people pretty much in town are sick. They have some kind of disease, some kind of illness. And she takes it to her boss and shows him like what's going on. And it's like a class action lawsuit. I think it was the biggest one at the time, I want to say. They ended up having to pay like 200 million something dollars, that's a lot for the 90s. Anyway, so it's really cool because it's a true story. Actually, Aaron Brockovich was in last season of the Kardashians when Kourtney's protesting the dumping of all of the stuff that had been burned from the Palisades fires into the Calabasas landfill. Not because she didn't feel the need to, help people out, but the landfill is not classified as a hazardous dumping ground. Like it's not built for that. Anyway, so she has Aaron Brockovich come to the protest, and so she's like a real person. She's still around. Very good. Very, very good. If you're into like 90s stuff, which I really have been getting back into like loving 90s movies. Not that I haven't loved them before, but like I'm really interested in them. Like I don't know, just like the minimalist. I know I just said I hate minimalism, but like minimalism in life. Like she had like a flip phone that flipped like this, and then had the antenna come out like this. Like she literally it's like the phone that is in my profile picture for this podcast. There was such a simpler time. I kind of missed that. Like growing up, we used to go to our ranch house in Nevada and it had no cell phone service. Granted, I had a flip phone at that point, so nothing much was going on. But like you kind of would just forget. Like I would put my phone like on the kitchen table for the whole weekend. And it wouldn't even be until we were like hours into our drive back home that we get service, and then I get my text messages. That kind of scares me now. I don't like that. I like to be connected all the time, so I think that's how most people are. But it's kind of how I feel about the early 2000s and 90s rom coms, especially. Anyway, we get to New York at 6 a.m. We take an Uber because you can either take a train or an Uber or taxi. The train is much cheaper. I wonder because like every subway ride you take in New York was $3, which is actually very, very reasonably priced, especially for how far you can go. I don't know if it's the same price from the airport to Grand Central Station or wherever you're going, but just be aware we took an Uber, we took a taxi. They call them curbs now. Like you book it through the Curb app. The price they tell you is not the price you're going to pay, just so you know. Ours, they said a flat fee of $80. By the time we got there, it was like 110. And that didn't include the tip. And we're like, that's annoying. We felt like we were like lied to. But if you take one of their minivans, they have tons and tons of space for your luggage, but you can only have two people sitting in the car. So, plus the guy was FaceTiming the entire time. Granted, he had his phone down here and he wasn't like looking at it the whole time, but he FaceTimed multiple people. We're like, sir. And we kind of brought that up to some of our friends that live there, and they're like, oh, yeah, a lot of people do that. Like, you're not going fast enough to really do anything. But I'm like, I know that. Like, in your own car, maybe, but don't when you're transporting people. Anyway, we get to our hotel, we leave our bags, and then we just skip on out to the city. And our hotel, I was not expecting to like this building as much as I did, but my favorite building there, and there's a lot of cool buildings, was the Chrysler building. The Chrysler building is definitely Art Deco, built by the guy that started the Chrysler company. He financed it all himself, and he wanted to leave something for his children, which his children ended up selling it. But it's very tall for sure, but it's not the tallest building. We could see it from our room. It is one of the prettiest buildings I've ever seen. And Grand Central Station's right across the street from that. And that's where we get on because it was like 2 blocks away from us. And so we get on Grand Central Station to basically go anywhere we needed. It was so handy. We'd get on at Lexington Avenue. And it was so cool because when you get off and you walk out the doors, you just look up and there's just this beautiful building right in front of you, the Chrysler building. And I'm like, I just love this so bad. I was like, I want to own that building. Talk about unrealistic dreams, which, you know what? My grandma always used to say, she's like, if I had money, I would do this. I would remodel my house like this. I'd go here, Then she'd look at me and she's like, I can dream. I can dream. I'm like, I don't know. I didn't say anything. I didn't say you couldn't, but that's kind of like one of those for me. I'm like, I can dream. Apparently, there's a penthouse at the top where the Chrysler guy used to live, and you cannot find photos of it. I can't find photos of it anywhere. And I really want to see it because if I could live there in any building, I know it sounds crazy, but I would. The Chrysler building was so cool, you guys. It was so cool. Anyway, we get there, we walk, we just start walking. And the blocks in New York are so much shorter than the blocks in Utah, like half the size. So you can literally just like cross the street and be crossed in like 5 seconds. In Utah, like I had to cross the street yesterday and I'm like, oh, this is a big road. Like there's 3 lanes of traffic on each side and turning lanes. Like this is a huge road. We went to Times Square first. We kind of just stumbled upon it and that's cool. I know everyone tells you not to do Times Square. You should do Times Square. Like, especially if you have not been there before or haven't been there in a long time. Like, I'm in the mindset of when you go somewhere for the first time, I think you should hit all those cool touristy spots. People think it's so cringe to be a tourist. No, it's not. It's cringe if you think it's cringe to be a tourist. Of course, if I go somewhere new, I'm going to be looking at everything. I'm going to be looking at the buildings. I'm going to be looking at like the layout of the city. Like, I'm just so curious, and everyone should be. And New York is a very, very good place to be curious because there's so much going on. There's so much to see. So don't let anybody tell you. Every time I look up at the buildings, which I did a lot, like I did a lot because I think it's absolutely amazing how they can build these massive, massive buildings, and they just stand and like also the subway goes like 3 or 4 levels down. And I'm like, how can they have these giant buildings on top of the subway system? How does it not collapse? I'm going to look that up because I've been wondering that. How does the subway, is the subway system, I thought it was, I mean, I guess I should have thought it was pretty intricate, but I thought it was like a couple going this way and a couple going this way. No, it's huge and you turn inside, like it's quite the ordeal. And it's fascinating. It's very fascinating. You always hear about like the subway's so scary or New York's scary. There is not really one time I felt unsafe. Granted, I am a man. I'm a 6'1", 200-pound man, but you really just didn't feel unsafe. Like we saw like kids going to school in the subway. I don't know if I would do that, but like women and girls going from school like alone. Like there's just so much going on that I feel like someone would help if something happened. And we were even walking around at like 1 or 2 in the morning. Um, and I still didn't feel unsafe. Like it does not feel like that scary of a place to me. So if you're worried about that, don't worry. I just want to talk for hours, you guys. And I do this to myself. I push myself too close to my time limit and I just can't talk. Okay, it is a marvel of engineering that millions of tons of skyscrapers can sit directly above the subway tunnels without crushing them. This is achieved through a combination of load distribution, structural reinforcement, and strategic placement. So if you go under, you notice like a lot of the ceilings are domed. Obviously, domed buildings, domed structures are stronger. So I did notice that. Okay, the rock box. In many cities like New York, the primary reason for stability is the geology. Engineers often blast or drill tunnels directly into metamorphic bedrock like Manhattan schist. Is that what it's called? I was wondering about that because we went to that cool rock in Central Park, which is probably one of my favorite things we did. We did that at 1 in the morning. And you can see Billionaires Row behind you. But there's this just ginormous rock. I'm like, is the whole city like this? And they just got rid of the rock? So it must be. Self-supporting. Hard rock is incredibly strong when a tunnel is carved into it. The rock itself acts as a natural arch that supports the weight above it. Anchoring. Massive buildings don't just sit on the roof of the subway. Their foundation decisions or piles. Piles are the long, skinny tubes that they pound into the ground. I watch a lot of YouTube videos about skyscrapers. I just think they're so fascinating. I just think they're so, it's so, especially back in the day when they were building like the Empire State Building. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself because we did all this stuff to even do it back then. I mean, to do it now with like modern technology, yeah, okay, it seems like pretty realistic. Back in the day, like how do they do it? Let's see. Are driven deep into the bedrock around the tunnels, effectively passing the subway altogether. So they kind of just like have to weed. That's probably why they turn under the ground. I didn't think about that. So I wonder if it's like the bigger, heavier buildings that they can't put the subway on top of the subway, and more of the shorter buildings, like in Tribeca. I'm talking like I'm a New York local. In Tribeca, how the buildings are. Tribeca was really cool though. Super clean, super fun. Specialized foundations. In areas where the ground is softer, clay or sand, buildings cannot simply rest on the tunnel. Instead, engineers use two main methods. Sleeved piles. Long steel columns are driven into the ground on either side of the subway tunnel. These columns go deeper than the subway itself to reach solid ground. The building sits on these legs, straddling the tunnel like a bridge, a raft foundation. For smaller structures, a thick slab of reinforced concrete is poured to distribute the weight of the building over a massive area, ensuring no single points put too much pressure on the tunnel roof. 3. Structural reinforcement. Subway tunnels aren't just holes in the ground, they are heavily engineered tubes designed to withstand immense overburden, the weight of the earth, and structures above. Cast iron and steel linings. Older subways often used segments of cast iron bolted together to form a rigid ring. Reinforced concrete. Modern tunnels use high-strength concrete reinforced with steel rebar, designed specifically to handle the dead load of the soil and the live load of the city above. Okay. The arch effect. Most tunnels are curved or arched. Told you. This shape naturally directs the downward pressure from the buildings around the sides of the tunnel and onto the ground rather than letting it push straight down the center. See, I told you. I love that. I love when I know things. It's not often that I'm very smart. The strict zoning of space. When a new skyscraper is planned, the city's transit authority must approve the foundation plans. Exclusion zones. There are strict rules about how close a building's foundation can get to the tunnel. Monitoring during construction, sensitive seismographs and laser levels are placed inside the subway tunnels. If the building's weight causes the tunnel to shift even a few millimeters, work is immediately halted. Can you imagine? Like there's that building in San Francisco that's leaning. Have you seen it? It's literally because there's so much sand underneath it. The building is leaning and people have paid millions and millions for their apartments in this building. And it's huge. Like, how do you stop that? There's also a building in New York that people hate on Billionaires Row because it's so structurally unsafe. And like the guy wanted a white building, but he wanted it made out of concrete, but you can't mix certain paints or whatever with concrete. So the building's crumbling. The building's super tall and super skinny. It's one of those thin buildings. And so every I don't know, 10 stories it's just, I don't know, it's hard to explain it. They just have a section where it's just windows that just go straight through. So the wind can go through them so it doesn't tip the building over. And people say that when the wind is really heavy or whatever, it sounds like you're at the bottom of a ship. Like, that creepy groaning noise that like ships make. Elevator shafts are like, they get crooked. The trash chutes are always full. They like, it's just so like the building probably has to be torn down, which is crazy because people have paid like $20 million for apartments there. Like who pays for that? Like who is in charge of that? Like is the insurance companies are not going to shell out $1 billion to pay all these people out, right? Maybe. I don't know. Okay, and the bridge analogy. Think of the subway as a hallway in a very sturdy house. The house or the weight of the roof isn't supported by the air inside the hallway, it's supported by the walls. In a city, the walls are the deep foundations of the buildings, the solid earth or rocks surrounding the tunnel. Anyway, that's that. Okay. So we get to Times Square. We kind of look around there. Then we walk over to Central Park on the west side of it and walk along I think it's the north side of the park. And we walked past the plaza. I wanted to see the plaza. And so we did that. Then we walked down to Fifth Avenue and we went to Abercrombie. We went to so many stores multiple times because we're like, should I get this? No. And then we'd like be walking around. We're like, oh, I really want that. It was kind of fun because we could just be like, let's hurry and run back to Abercrombie. I want to get this thing. Or let's hurry. Like I went to the Skim store a couple times. The Skim store, beautiful, a lot bigger than the one in LA. The men's department actually is a whole room instead of a little shelf like the one in LA. But I was still not pleased with the amount of stuff in there. The lady did tell us, she's like, we used to have a lot more men's stuff, but since Nike came, they took half this space. And it's frustrating because Nike, like, they don't even have men's athletic wear. When Skims comes out with men's athletic wear, trust I will be buying. Like, it's Skims quality for athletic sportswear for sure. So they had like the basics. They had the jogger sets. They had the tank tops, jock straps, thongs, all this stuff. And then they had this new collection package of shirts. It's kind of like their spring collection, I think. So you could buy like the matching underwear with the matching tank tops, which I'm so annoyed because two of the colors match, and then there's one pair of underwear and one tank top that don't match. I'm like, why would you do that? I wanted full matching sets. So I have two full matching sets and then just some other underwear. Skims underwear and tank tops are unmatched. Like, I'm sorry to say, but she knows what she's doing there. But this building is like 5 stories tall and it's really cool. It is a really cool building. It's right next to Cartier. Fifth Avenue is beautiful. I found myself there a lot because it just is. I kept telling people, like, especially people I went on my first New York trip with, it was in high school and it was an amazing trip. I'm not complaining about it at all. It was a fashion and culinary tour. And so we had a tour bus and the tour bus would just take us places and then we go in the building and then come back out and get on the bus and go somewhere else. So I don't feel like we got to explore the city too much. And so in my mind, the city was so much different than what I remembered it. And one thing about me, I don't know what it is. Ever since I was little, I am great with directions. I'm great with addresses. I'm mainly better with like, what do they call that? What do they call that? Oh my gosh, that's so landmarks. Yeah, landmarks. Like that's how good I remember buildings. I remember things, and that's how I kind of gauge myself where I'm at. And so in my mind, I thought I had New York, especially Fifth Avenue, that area, like pretty well mapped out. No, it was so much different than I remember. Like so much different. It's kind of interesting where buildings are placed. Like the Empire State Building's pretty much by itself, and I think they do that because it's the most famous building in the world, and so I don't think they want these huge buildings around it to take away from it. Chrysler Building's over in Midtown East, which is where we were staying. Fifth Avenue, Rockefeller Center, Central Park, all that stuff is over here. Times Square, Billionaires Row, like it's all kind of spread out, and then the World Trade Center is actually quite far away if you haven't been there, down by the Statue of Liberty or up. I think it's north. So one thing about me, I hate when people are like, I'm going up to St. George. If you're in Vegas, yes, you are going up to St. George. If you're in Salt Lake, you are going down to St. George. You're not going up to St. George. Please stop saying that. I've gotten into so many arguments about this. My friend Peyton would always be like, yeah, I'm going down to Idaho for the weekend. I'm going home. So that's where he grew up. I'm like, you're going up to Idaho. He's like, no. I'm like, no. When you look at a map, north is always up. I don't care about elevation. I don't care about any of that. You're going up. When you're going north, you're going up. When you're going south, you're going down. When you're going east or west, you're going over. I'm going over to Colorado. I'm going over to LA. I'm going to LA. Sorry. I just get really heated about that. What was I talking about? Anyway, yes, the Statue of Liberty, I'm pretty sure it's on the north side. And that's where the big World Trade Center thing is. That is one thing we didn't get to do because we got there too late and it was super rainy that day. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So then we go and hang out at Rockefeller Center for a while because we're going to the Kelly Clarkson show. Actually, I got this little thing. But we turned around and we're like, oh, it's just advertising. Gotta say, I'm not sure if I'm glad we did this. And I really feel bad. And it has nothing to do with Kelly. Please don't come for Kelly. Has nothing to do with her. I guess I should have paid more attention, but in my mind, so if you're going to New York and you want to do some of these shows, I don't know about Good Morning America, but like The View, the Drew Barrymore show. I think you can do that on there. Apply with Kelly Clarkson show. You go to one, it's like the number one, and then iota.com. And you make an account or whatever, and you choose the dates you want to go. And it's like a random drawing. It's like, so you don't have to pay for these tickets, they're free. And if you get chosen, they'll let you know. On Kelly Clarkson's show, it had three guests. One of them was Charlize Theron and Taron Egerton, and then Billy Geis, I think that was his name. He was first on the sheet. And so I'm like, oh, okay, so she has three guests that day. I had been checking consistently until our trip. And how long have we been talking? 40 minutes? Okay, I hope you guys buckle up because this is going to be a long ass episode. And it had never changed. Everything was the same. We're waiting in line to get in the basement of Rockefeller Center because that's where they record. The guests have changed. So it changed from Charlize Theron to Justin Theroux, which I have no problem with him. I like him, but over Charlize Theron, I don't think so. And then this other girl, Marta something, she's in that new show right now they're promoting called MIA or Mia, however you pronounce it. And then Billy Geist. And I didn't realize that Billy Geist was the host. So Kelly wasn't even there. And this is like a 4-hour long process. And the employees weren't rude, but they were very curt, very straight to the back. Like, I can't even tell you how many times they told us no pictures allowed. No pictures allowed. Like several dozen every 10 minutes. And we're like, okay, we get it. So we get there, and I still hadn't pieced together that Kelly Clarkson wasn't going to be there. So we're in the front row, and you can see the teleprompter, and it says, hello, I'm Billy Geist filling in for Kelly Clarkson today. And I turn over, I'm like, she's not even here. I'm like, she's not even here. I'm like, okay, the guest thing changing up, whatever. As long as I get to see Kelly, I'm fine. Nope, she wasn't there. Was not there. It didn't say in the description she wasn't going to be there. It just said that he might be underneath. I think in small letters it said host. I don't know. Her show was very staged, very, very, very staged. Like they'd filmed things out of sequence, so it's like a live audience, but it's not a live show. But still had a good time, made the best of it. But they were like compared to because we did Live with Kelly Mark on the last day we were there. Such a different experience. I'll talk about that when we were leaving. But we were leaving the show, and these two ladies, we're not out of the studio yet, and they just take a selfie, and they're like, "Hey, no pictures." They're like, "You're gonna have to delete that right now." And they had security come over. They had them watch them delete it, and then they went to their recently deleted photos and watched them delete it from that. I'm like, wow, what is the problem? I don't understand what the issue is. So anyway, that was kind of a flop. I'm actually kind of annoyed about that. There's a couple things. That was one of them. And I'm like, we could have done without that. And that is my bad, but they didn't make it obvious that she wasn't going to be there. And we were already in line when I found out the guests had changed. So I'm like, that's really annoying. So after that, we went back to Fifth Avenue, I think, because we wanted to go get some more stuff we were thinking about. We went to Saks on Fifth Avenue. Saks is beautiful. It's a gorgeous store. All these stores are incredible. And it just incredible. And they're beautiful. They're like 4, 5, 6, 7 stories tall. It's such a magical place. I'm sorry, Fifth Avenue is just such a magical place. We went back to the hotel. We got ready for the night because the first night we were going to the Ralph Lauren Polo Lounge. And I don't want to sound snooty, but it's very hard to get into that. I had nothing to do with it. Person I was with got us in. I think the American Express Platinum helps with that, just FYI. And if you have a Resi account, because I think that's how you got in. If you want to go, you have to book it. I think it's 30 days till the day you want to go. And you have to call exactly at 10 a.m. Eastern time, because that's when they open and start taking reservations. And some people wait like 3 hours on the phone for this and they get in. So like, if you're waiting a long time, don't get discouraged, but it is hard to get in. Smaller groups have a much better chance of getting in. So like we had 2 people, bigger groups, very, very hard to get in. Anyway, it's Ralph Lauren's Polo Bar. I keep getting it confused if it's a lounge or bar, but it is beautiful, you guys. It is so pretty inside. So you go inside and the top floor is kind of like a hangout area for like the bar. You kind of just wait there till your table's officially ready. Then you go down the stairs and it's like gorgeous, like wooden paneled walls, portraits of horses and polo players and everything all over the place. Sconces on the walls, like the lighting is perfect. I thought we were going to be a little bit more concealed because we wanted to do a TikTok of it, but there are people pretty close to us. The food was good. It's very expensive. We got an appetizer. We weren't thrilled with it. The pigs in a blanket, like you can bypass that. We didn't love the dessert either. Because I didn't choose it. The one I wanted would have been so much better. It was like this sundae, but it had popcorn in it, and it just didn't work. I thought it said caramel sundae, so I'm like, oh, okay, so this topping will be caramel. No, it was like thick, rich, dark chocolate, and I can't. chocolate is so hard for me anyway, but I cannot do like it was bad. It was not good. I'm sorry. The ice cream is caramel. That's what it was. Big miss. I got a hamburger because I wasn't impressed with their side options. Like they didn't have very good vegetable sides because I wanted to get like salmon or something or steak with like a side of broccoli or Brussels sprouts or asparagus or something. But they didn't have that. They had like there was one thing they had several times. I'm like, why do you have multiple of this one thing? That bothered me. So I got a hamburger and the fries were delicious. The hamburger was delicious, very good. I'm sitting there and there's kind of like this alcove room and it's kind of like where they put the celebrities. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my gosh. I've been looking at this man like all night, kind of just like periodically, I'm like, that's Paul Giamatti. And I'm like, I lean over, I'm like, don't look now. That's Paul Giamatti. And he's like, who? And he looks back, I'm like, that's the guy from the my big fat liar, the evil guy. He's like, how do you know his name? I'm like, I don't know. He was in that really popular movie last year or 2 years ago, The Holdovers. It was nominated for a lot of Oscars and Grammys, Oscars and awards and whatever. And then I look over and he's sitting with Darren Criss from Glee. I'm like, what the heck? Then a few minutes later, these two people are being escorted down, and I'm like, that's Owen Wilson. It's Owen Wilson and his mom. I'm like, that is they're just here. Like that is so cool. So after that, we walked. Our reservation was at 10 p.m. So we get done with dinner about 12. One thing about New York, they will let you take your time. It's not like Utah. I remember this the first time too, where Utah, they want to get you in and get you out as soon as possible. That's not the same for New York. They want you to relax and enjoy yourself. They usually ask you for tea or coffee at the end of your meal. And sometimes it's annoying. Like we were at a dinner one night and it went on for like 2.5, almost 3 hours. And we were done eating like well before that. I'm like, okay, this wrap this up. But that's just what they do. They want you to be leisurely there and hang out. After that, Central Park was just down the street. So we walked down to the Met and saw the Met at night, which was fun because there was not any people there. And we got pictures there. We walked over to the Rock at Billionaires Row. We walked through the park. Like there's no one there. So that was one of my funnest nights. The next day, what did we do the next day? The next day was Friday, and that was the day of our concert. Technically, we went to New York for Demi Lovato. That's what we went for. We went to the Brooklyn Bridge. We walked across the bridge, super busy. Tons of street merchants that are selling the same thing over and over and over and over again in the way, like crazy. Y'all know how I feel about things being in the way. We had a family party this last weekend, and my cousin was telling my mom about grocery delivery. And my mom's like, oh, I'm going to have Kacey show me how to do that. And I said, I will not be doing that. And everyone's like, why? I'm like, I am very much against able-bodied people getting their groceries delivered. And everyone kind of like laughs, like, oh, but it's so convenient. I'm like, I know, but I cannot stand going into Walmart and they have these giant carts. I've already talked about this, I know, in the way. And then they act like you're in their way. No, I am the customer. I'm the customer. If you want to do this delivery thing, you need separate warehouses. I'm sorry, this is not working. It is not working for me, and it's time for you to go. So that's my opinion. If you're an able-bodied person and can go buy your groceries, do it. There's no reason for you to not. That's how I felt about the merchants on the Brooklyn Bridge. So we walked over there. We walked around by that carousel. We were in Dumbo, technically. We ate at a place called Grimaldi's Pizza. Very, very good, kind of expensive. Right at the end of the bridge. I think they have one in Vegas too, also. Then we walked back. We took the subway to the Empire State Building because my friend works there. I met her last year through a friend of a friend. She's from Utah. She's visiting friends. I went and hung out with them, and they're like, "Oh, Casey's going to New York." And she's like, oh, well, let me know and I can get you tickets to like the Met and the Empire State Building. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Where do you work? She's like, I work at the Empire State Building. I'm like, could you imagine saying that sentence? Like, I work at the Empire State Building. I can't even, like, she works at LinkedIn and their office is in the Empire State Building. I'm like, that is such a flex. I would be telling everybody that. We met up with her and some of our other friends. One that I knew and a couple of their friends were there. So we all like, it just kind of happened that we all wanted to go up at the same time, which is good because it takes a long time to get to the Empire State Building. Like they have so many places you have to scan, so many lines, so many elevators you have to take. Like it's quite the process just to get to the top. So we get to the top, and last time I was there, we didn't get to go up into the tall tube, like that's the higher observation area, and it's just all glass around you. It's not like a balcony, and the views up there were absolutely amazing, like just unbelievable. It's just so cool. They built that building in 9 months. Did you know that? Okay, so I think when it was officially completed, demolition. They demolished the old Waldorf Astoria building to build this October 1st, 1929. Was that the beginning of the Great Depression? Okay, so basically from the framework was built in 9 months for the Empire State Building. I think altogether it says a year and 45 days, for it to be completely completed. Okay, so let's see. Let me show you. Framework completed September, and then official opening was May 1931. So, but in there it says it's like 9 months, something about 9 months. But anyway, it's still a great. It's a huge accomplishment, even for it says in today's modern society. That's still crazy amount of time to build the Empire State Building because it's huge. It's like massive. So then we went down to the balcony. We kind of looked around and everything, and then we were like, we have to go. We have to get ready for Demi, which Demi was like right across the street. We still had to go back and get ready. Demi was fun. It was at Madison Square Garden. Never been there before. Oh, early on that day, we went to a pop-up shop. It was at Madison Square Garden because she had, where is that shirt? I have a shirt somewhere. It was a specific shirt to New York, and they only had a certain amount, but you had to go wait in line. It said one night only, Madison Square Garden or something. So we went and did that. Went to the concert. It was super fun. After we met up with a friend, and we went to some bars and some clubs. Took the train home. We got home at like 2 or 3 in the morning. Well, the one thing I didn't really get to do is go for a run in Central Park, and I really wanted to do that, but we were just getting like 3 or 4 or 5 hours of sleep at night. Like I was just so exhausted. Plus walking 30,000 steps a day. This wasn't it. Saturday it was raining, and I would have just preferred to stay. We should have pieced this together a little bit better. First, we went to Goop Kitchen, which I'm glad I found out about this like a week before we went. Goop is Gwyneth Paltrow's company. They have now what they call ghost kitchens. They have them in LA, but they started them in New York now. And it's basically just a kitchen that cooks a bunch of different places' foods. So it's not an actual restaurant. So if you do this, I highly recommend because the food is delicious, but get delivery because there's no sense in you going and walking and picking it up and bringing it back. It just doesn't work. I think it would have worked if it wasn't raining. We could have found a place to sit and eat, but it was just so uncomfortable. And we're like, we just want to go back to the room and eat this. Food is delicious. Got the salmon with the rice and some kind of vegetable, I think, with it. Unbelievable. I was blown away. It's kind of like an aubergine or a vessel kitchen here in Utah. That's the vibe of Goop Kitchen. They have so much stuff. Highly recommend that if you want to get something quick for lunch while you're there. Then we took the train to Coney Island. Now, when I tell you this was the flop of the century, it was the flop of the flop of the flop of the century. It was so bad. Everything was closed because it was cold and rainy. We should have figured that might be the case. I'm not kidding when I tell you we were the only 2 people on that beach at that amusement park. And the amusement park is huge. So we keep hearing it, they're going to tear down Coney Island. And I'm like, we keep telling people that, and I'm not sure if it's true now. Are they tearing down Coney Island? Come on. Oh my God. Where did we hear that? Okay, no, they aren't tearing down Coney Island. Oh my gosh. However, there has been some confusing news recently that might be why you're hearing rumors. Here's the breakdown of what is actually happening. The Coney Island that actually closed, there was a small amusement park in Cincinnati, Ohio, also named Coney. Oh my God, we're so stupid. We've told so many people this. Oh my gosh. That permanently shut down at the end of 2023 that often causes confusion in headlines for people looking at the Brooklyn landmark, the Brooklyn casino prophecy. There's been a lot of heated debate over a proposed $1 billion casino hotel project called the Coney. The concerns critics and some locals are worried the massive casino would lead to the demolition of smaller classic rides. Okay, so this is what they're talking about. The status in early 2025, the local community board voted against the land use changes needed for the sky bridges and high-rise elements, which they're still pushing towards. A $1 billion revitalization plan. Instead of tearing down, the city's actually investing $1 billion into the area. This includes reconstructing the Raglan boardwalk to make it more resilient to climate change, building 1,500 new homes, renovating Abe Stark Sports Network, whatever. Okay, so they're not closing Coney Island. So don't let us confuse you. We were like, we have to go because they're tearing it down. Anyway, I was actually mad. Like I had to like make myself try and be in a better mood. But I'm like, we just wasted 4 hours of our day. Like 4 hours. And it's cold, it's rainy, it's wet. I'm like, we could have just stayed back at the room, watched the rain, gone to a movie. Like we could have done anything else. Anyway, so on the way back, we stopped at the World Trade Center because we had somewhere to be. What do we have on Saturday night? We had somewhere to be. Oh, also, I totally forgot about this. Friday, we went and had breakfast at Tiffanys on Fifth Avenue at the official Tiffany store. I didn't have breakfast. I had a hamburger, which was delicious. And I had a Cosmopolitan. It was blue. It was a Tiffany blue. It was so pretty inside, you guys. You look over to the left, you see the giant Louis Vuitton luggage store next to you. There's Tiffany boxes hanging from the ceiling. Like it was fun. Like it's something you can experience. It's pretty expensive, but it was worth it. I think we did a dessert, but I can't remember. You can actually order the official Breakfast at Tiffany's, what she orders, but I didn't do that because like some of it was It was expensive. That one was like 100 and something bucks. Which now that I'm thinking of it, that shouldn't have been split evenly. I have to have a talking to someone because mine was much less expensive than that. I didn't even piece that together till now. Interesting. Okay. Trying to think of what else we did on Saturday. Oh, that's when we had dinner. Okay, that's when we had the 3 hour long dinner, which but the food was super good, also extremely expensive. I had another hamburger. I know. And I had another hamburger. I think I had French fries with it. Thing is, like these places, a lot of them don't come with like sides, which is super annoying. Then we went back. I think we went back to the room and just went to sleep. But at that point, it was super, super late. Okay, Sunday. What did we do Sunday? We kind of just walked around. Oh, we went to a rooftop bar. Apparently, that's a big thing in New York on Sundays in the afternoons, whatever. You just go to a rooftop bar and just mingle. So we did that. It was very pretty, very, very pretty. We could see the Statue of Liberty from there. Granted, it was far away. Loved that. Then we went back and went to Chicago, got ready for Chicago to see Whitney. We had front row tickets. Absolutely beautiful. Loved every second of it. Everyone did amazing. I had no idea what Chicago was about. So I kind of on the way there, I was like, what is Chicago about? And so I literally went into it blind. Like I had no really clue what the songs were. I had no, but there's some lines I'm like, oh, that's what this is from. Like the cellophane song. I remember a guy in my high school did a what was it? It wasn't like the play of Chicago, but it was like different scenes from different plays in this one play. It's hard to explain, but he sang cellophane. I'm like, oh, that's what this is from. Anyway, Whitney played Roxy Hart. She did amazing. Everyone did amazing. It was such a good show. Loved it. Dancing. Even Mark Ballas. Everyone, I kept saying, I'm going to see Whitney Leavitt in Chicago. They're like, oh my gosh, and Mark's going to be there. I'm like, does Mark have that big of a following? Like, I did not know people loved him that much. They do. A lot of people are like, oh, you saw Mark too? I did. And he did great. He did a really good job. Great play. Loved it. I'm glad we did that. Then we went back, and then because the next day we had to be up early to go to Live with Kelly and Mark, which is down in the Tribeca area. And that one didn't tell us who the guests were going to be. Now, this show is actually live. And it kind of threw me off. I'm like, oh, this show's actually live. They're like, yeah, it's called Live with Kelly and Mark. I'm like, I know, but all these other shows say live, but they're like live in front of a studio audience. So it's like, it's different. This show is like the news. Like once they record, it's going out onto the air. And this show was so much better than the Kelly Clarkson show. And I feel bad saying that. Again, Kelly had nothing to do with it, not anything to do with her. The employees were nicer. We didn't have to be there as long. We could take pictures. It wasn't as strict. They didn't make us like at the Kelly Clarkson show. They were wanting us to like hang from the rafters and scream at the top of our lungs with excitement and applause. Like that's how bad it was. Here they're like, "Okay, we want you to be when we do this. It's like really loud. When we do this, it's calm down. Like whatever." But while we were in the waiting area, that's where they filmed Good Morning America also. And I was looking at the screen because they had it playing, and Anne Hathaway was there, and I'm like, I wonder if Anne Hathaway's going to be there. And it's funny because when we left the Kelly Clarkson show, throughout that week or that trip, I was watching Running Point, which is really good. You should watch the second season on Netflix, and Brenda Song is in it. And the person I was with, they're like, we should have gotten Brenda Song. Like, wouldn't it have been so cool if we got her as a guest for the Kelly Clarkson show? And so we're sitting at Live with Kelly and Mark, and they're like doing the intro. Kelly and Mark are beautiful in real life, just as beautiful as they are on TV. Very kind, very sweet, very nice. And the introduction lady was like, today on Live, Anne Hathaway. I'm like, yes, she's here. And they're like, and Brenda Song. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So we got two really great guests. And Macaulay Culkin, if you didn't know, Macaulay Culkin is the Home Alone guy. I don't think they're married, but he is with Brenda Song. They've been together for like 10 years. And he was there. He came and supported her. You can tell he just adores her. He loves her. He loves her so down bad. Like he was holding her hand, he had his arm around her, he was like following her around, doing whatever, just like he was just there. He just loved to be with her. And you could just tell by the way he looked at her. Anyway, it was so good. Anne Hathaway looks just as good on in real life as she does on TV. Like just it's like she looks fantastic. Anyway, this trip was so good. I'm almost done. Almost done. Then we can talk about a few celebrity things and then I'll let you go. So then after that, after the Kelly and Mark show, we went to another Abercrombie because there was this shirt I wanted so badly, and I wanted to wear it for that trip because I bought new pants at Abercrombie. I actually saw the whole outfit, well, except for the hat, on the mannequin. I'm like, I want that outfit. I want that outfit for my last day because that's when we're going to see the Statue of Liberty. And they will not let you take the sizes off the mannequin. And so we even went back. We went to Abercrombie 5 times, I think, because I'm like, well, we'll just go back and we'll just take it off the mannequin. They had people watching that place like a hawk. Like there was no way. And we said to multiple people, like, they're like, oh, they have a medium here. And I'm like, oh, well, they're like, we can't find it though. I'm like, well, I think it's on the mannequin. They're like, oh, yeah, we can't take it off the mannequin. I'm like, why? What, you're out of stock of it. Why not take it off the mannequin until it's back in stock? Like all they had was like extra, extra large left. And they're like, oh, we can't do that. And so then I went to the counter. I bought another shirt, which I did end up liking. They're like small, kind of like baby tee button up shirts. And I didn't even piece it. Like I tried it on and I didn't even look at the size. And I got up to the counter and I was like, I want to buy this. And then I want to buy this shirt and just have it sent to my house. And they're like, well, what size do you need? I was like, a medium. They're like, oh, we have one in store. I'm like, oh yeah, it's on the mannequin. They're like, oh, we can't take that off. I'm like, why? I'm the customer. Like, why? What is the big deal? Just put a larger shirt on the mannequin or a different one. They had several options to choose from. It was really annoying because I work in retail and we will, if it's like down to the last thing, the customer gets it. The customer will walk out of the building with that product. Like this is how it goes. Nope, they didn't want to do that. So they sent the shirt to my house and I'm like, I wanted it for this last day. The annoying thing is we saw it that first day, the size I wanted. I should have bought it. But I tried this other one on and she's like, oh, well, this one's a small. You want a medium in the other one? I'm like, that's a small? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, wow. I'm like, I feel really good about myself. So anyway, got the shirt, got this wonderful hat. I love it. It's got like baseball stitching because they partner with the MLB, so the Major League Baseball, and it has like baseball stitching on the front, and it has the NY logo for the New York Yankees on the front. That's the one I was wearing, and we went to the. So after that, we walked around Tribeca, which we went to Washington Square Park, which is the big monument thing. Looks like is it Arc de Triomphe in Paris? Looks like that. We walked around Tribeca, which is really cool and clean. It had the Ghostbusters like fire station there. We walked past the Friends apartment. They didn't film it there, but that was the outside of the Friends building, 90th Bedford Street, which I love because Bedford is the name of Martha Stewart's restaurant and the home she lives in. And then I didn't even realize we were that close, but we walked past Cornelia Street. If you're unaware, that's a Taylor Swift song from the album Lover. I'm like, we have to go down and see the apartment. And we did. You can't really see the apartment because it's like big doors that open up and you can drive a car in and then you can go up to the apartment. But that's the song Cornelia Street is about. And I got my picture in front of that. We kind of just walked. It was so nice. It was such a good, nice day. Really, the only bad day was Saturday when it was raining. And I even loved that because when we got off the train and we were walking out of Grand Central Station to Lexington Avenue, we walked out and I saw my building and I looked up and just the lighting on it, the Art Deco style, are they called gargoyles? They have the gargoyles that come out of the side, and just seeing the rain come down on that beautiful building, that was cool. I'm glad I got to see that. Anyway, then we went and what did we do in between that? We did something. Oh, we went to the Met. We actually went to the Met. So the first night we just walked outside the Met because it was obviously closed. And this time we went inside, thanks to my friend Ashlyn. She got us into it. And I had been there before and it's huge. Like I think everyone should experience it, but it is overwhelming. It's very, very big. But I was a little worried about this. We get there and the room I wanted to see so badly, it's the big like Egyptian room, like with the tomb, was closed like I was expecting because they were getting ready for the Met Gala, which was just a week from then. And that's where they have it. That's where they hold it. Like, dang it, I really wanted to see this room. But everything else is cool. I think you should go and see it, experience it. It's a really cool place. Building is beautiful. Then we took the train down to the financial district. That's where you get on the ferry to go sightseeing. So this ferry like took you kind of up one side, turned around so you could see the city line, went back down around, took you to the other side, see like Jersey and all that stuff, turned back around, and then at sunset you would be passing the Statue of Liberty. And that was really cool. I think if you want to do the Statue of Liberty, we found out you have to book it like 4 months in advance to go up inside of it. And I've told people that, and everyone that goes in, they're like, you really can just go to the base of it. Like, you really don't need to go inside. You walk up like 156 flights of stairs, and then the crown is just big enough for one person to go and crouch down, look out the window, and then you walk out. That's it. That's all you do when you get up there. So people say it's kind of like not the biggest deal. Weren't able to do that. And I kind of agree because we got to see it pretty up close. Last time we didn't see it super close because we were on an actual ferry, not a ferry for the Statue of Liberty. So we got really close to it this time. And it was sunset. It was so nice. And then we went back and kind of just hung out, walked around the city some more, and got up and went to the airport the next day. Yeah, that's my trip to New York. Sorry, I'm talking for the long, long, long time, but I loved it so much. I really did. It was such a fun trip. Oh, Saturday night, we also went out with some other friends that were in town to some more bars and stuff and in Hell's Kitchen. and that was fun. But it was just, we had something to do nonstop. Like we were booked and busy the entire time. We loved it. We had a great time. On the way back, I finished watching Aaron Brockovich on the plane because I missed some of it. I loved it the second time, just as much as the first time. I also watched 10 Things I Hate About You, which I had always seen bits and pieces of that. And I think it's because like I'd see it on like ABC Family, or like my siblings would watch it when I was growing up. Because my siblings they're quite a bit older than I am. And so there's pretty big age gap. So I would see like bits and pieces of like Scream at 5 and 6 years old. Same with like they have an actual Coyote Ugly bar. If you have not seen the movie Coyote Ugly, I need you to watch that. I need you to watch that so badly. To all the people that recommended things to me, I'm sorry we did not have time, but I will be going back. Trust, I will be going back to New York. It is not going to take me 15 years like I did last time. I cannot believe I waited that long, but I'm glad I did because this trip ended up being so perfect. Everything about this trip was perfect. The place our hotel was in a perfect location. The things we had lined up, the weather, despite that one day, was great. I was such a kid in a candy store. Like it was so fun to see everything. I don't know. I wish I could afford to live there, but it's not. That's one thing I kept thinking about when I was there. I'm like, how does everybody afford to live here? Because it is so expensive. I'm like, there are poor people here. Like how? First of all, where are all these rich people getting their money? Where is the money coming from, and why can't I find it? Second of all, where are all these people who have like we would always talk about that. Like we went to Wendy's one day. I know we went to Wendy's, and we're like, how does this Wendy's employee afford to live here? Like there's no way that a Wendy's salary, not bashing Wendy's, but it's much different than if you work on Wall Street compared to like a Wendy's fast food restaurant and live in New York. Like where are you living? Like are you having to commute 100 miles to get to your job? I'm so confused. I'm so curious how people afford it. And they're like, you have to have at least like $150,000 salary to make it comfortable to live in New York. Where's the salary? Where is this coming from? Anyway, I would love to have, even if it was just a small, tiny D studio apartment, I would love to just be able to have a place that I can go there and be able to go to concerts, be able to go, oh, I was going to show you this. I have to show you all my stuff that I got. It is show and tell time, you guys. Okay, so you always see these online, like on Tumblr and like Twitter and whatever. They have stores that just have tons and tons of magazines. And we were walking past one after live with Kelly and Mark, and I was like, we have to go in there because they had like Vogues from like all over in the window, and even like older Vogues. Like they don't get rid of the magazines; they just wait for them to sell. They didn't have the Hong Kong Emily Blunt Vogue, and I can't find it anywhere anymore. I used to be able to find it on eBay. I cannot anymore, and I'm so mad at myself for not buying it. Like there's 3 different covers and I wanted all of them. And when I tell you that's one of my favorite magazine covers of all time, I'm not lying. And I don't even have it. But they had tons of other ones. And I'm like, I have that one, I have that one, I have that one, I have that one. I did not have this one. The re-edition with Kim Kardashian. Um, yeah, so like magazines like this we don't get in Utah. We do not get in Utah, and it's really annoying. So one reason I'd want to live in New York is because of shops like this. Like I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy. This thing is massive. It's heavy. I had to bring it home. I had to be very strategic on how I pack. So there's that. That's one of my favorite things I got there. Here is my Empire State Building, a little souvenir thing. I showed you my Kelly Clarkson thing. Here's my Kelly Clarkson. They didn't give us like anything really that cool for Kelly and Mark, which I'm really kind of sad about. My Kelly Clarkson wristband, my Chicago playbill. Should we see what they say? Oh, this is mine. Never mind. I'm kind of mad because I got this little postcard at the Polo Lounge. Polo Bar. That's what it's called. Polo Bar. I'm so annoyed because I got one for breakfast at Tiffany's too. And I think I threw it away before I left. And I'm really annoyed about that. Like I'm really actually extremely pissed off about that. Anyway, my postcards from the Polo Bar. The playbill for Chicago. I want to see if you can see. Whitney. Okay, here's her description. Whitney Leavitt, Roxy Hart, is an actress and performer and one of the breakout stars of Hulu's hit series The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. She was let's see. She was most recently seen competing on season 34 of ABC's Dancing with the Stars and can soon be seen starring in the film All for Love, which she also executive produced. Chicago marks Leavitt's Broadway debut. A lifelong dancer, Leavitt earned a BFA in dance from Brigham Young University and later rediscovered her passion during Dancing with the Stars. I love it. I will put it next to my Queen of Versailles playbill that I saw in Boston. If you guys remember that, I went and saw that there. Anyway, 10 Things I Hate About You. I finally got to watch all of it. it's good. I love it. I love how light and it was just shot in very bright lighting, and I appreciate that so much because that's not the case anymore. Um, yeah, it's a great rom-com. I get why people like it so much. That scene when she's like, and the thing I hate the most is I don't hate you at all, not even a little bit, not even at all, or something. And I'm like, it's really sad. It's also sad to see Heath Ledger, but I would have loved to hang out with him. He just seems like a genuine guy, you know? He just seems like a really down-to-earth guy. He seems like one of those ones, kind of like at that press conference for Brokeback Mountain when one of the reporters was like, why would you make this disgusting film with this disgusting message or whatever? And he like went off on the guy and was like, "What's wrong with you? Like wanting people to just love who they love? Like, why is that so bothersome to you? Like, you were just spreading hatred about people that love each other. It makes no sense." I'm like, he just seems like a genuine guy, and it's really sad what happened to him. Okay, I got back the next day. I went to my screening. Where's my cup? Dang it. Okay, went to the screening of Devil Wears Prada. I don't dare open this. I know I should. Should I open it now? So this is the magazine in Devil Wears Prada. It's basically the Vogue of the movie. So it's called Runway. And I got a early screening access that I had to pay for, but it came with this stuff. And so it came with a magazine, and you all know how I love magazines. But it's like a real legit magazine with like actual ads. Also, this purse, impossible to get. Yes. Is it plastic? 1000%. Yes. Did I pre-order it and spend a decent amount of change? Yes. Yes. Is it shipping in September? It is. Like, that's so annoying. Why would you make me wait that long? Anyway, this magazine has let's see. It has interviews with like the cast. Like this is the new Emily and Andrea. It has interviews with Emily. Her character is so fun. I talked to someone last night who saw it for the first time, and I'm like, "What's your opinion?" He's like, "Well, the first one I think is the best." I'm like, "Well, obviously." And someone I heard the other day did not like Devil Wears Prada, the first one. I'm like, how do you not like that movie? It is like it's a perfect movie. It is so well done. So well done. And it's a classic. And he's like, I just didn't love the storyline of the second one. I'm like, well, I get that. Like, I get it. My grievance was not grievance, but Miranda was just a little bit too nice. She wasn't like the curt, short Miranda that she used to be. And I feel like she said a lot more in this movie than she did in the last one. She talked a lot more, which made her seem less mysterious, you know? But I was like, these guys could have been playing on a deserted island and I would have loved it. Like I would have loved I just wanted to see the characters back in action. And I thought it was a good I thought it was a good movie, good storyline. This is the car that Miranda rides in, the Maybach. It's just cool. They have advertisements for the people that, you know, advertise in the movie. Lucy Liu was in it. Love her. I don't know. I just loved it. I highly recommend it, but it is a very like celebrity coded movie. So obviously I'm going to like it a lot more than most people. I agree the storyline isn't as cool as the one in the first one, but I mean, it's kind of hard. And Meryl Streep said it best when because Anne Hathaway was um, our guest at Live with Kelly Mark, obviously. And she was talking about, she's like, when we got to sit down with all the cast and everything, Meryl reminded everyone this movie was shot in 2006. The iPhone came out in 2007 and the iPhone changed everything. So now this movie is about them navigating life in the digital age. And they even say in the movie, like, oh, this isn't a magazine anymore. Like we hardly sell any magazines. This is like a media video company. And so they're just trying to navigate that world. And that's kind of what this movie's about, like the whole plot line of it. And it's true. So it's like, it's kind of hard to recreate similar things to the first one because the first one was in a whole different technology age than this one. And so, I don't know. It was really good. I highly recommend it. Also thought I don't know why they gave this to me because they didn't give us any bags. It's a bag charm for my little bag. The Met Gala was yesterday, Monday, when I'm recording this. The theme was fashion is art. I think that's what it's called. Fashion is art. Where is it? Anyway, so basically you come as art. There were some people were so boring. Like Margot Robbie, love her. You can't come from Barbie and Wuthering Heights and wear that. It was the most bland dress. It was so I didn't like it at all. I'm so sorry, Margot Robbie. Cardi B's was probably my least favorite of the whole night. It was awful. It was horrible. It looked like she had hemorrhoids all over herself. It was bad. It was not like apparently she was replicating a famous statue that had been created. One of my favorites is Emma Chamberlain's, and her dress looked it was like paint splattered, pretty much paint dripping down, and the dress went out on the ground, like fanned out. And then her sleeves are super long. Sorry, I have to sneeze. Her sleeves were super long, and so when she held her arms down, it was like the paint was dripping from her sleeves onto her dress at the bottom. So it kind of looked like a painter's palette or whatever. That was cool. Katy Perry's loved simple, but yet made a lot of statements. So if you're unaware, Katy Perry hasn't been to the Met in a long time. And she is known to have some of the best costumes there ever was. The chandelier costume, the hamburger costume, the what was the one she did? I can't remember. Anyway, she has really great costume. And so for the past few years, people have been doing AI generated photos of her wearing dresses that they think she would wear. And some of them are like really good. Some of them are stunning. So this time she went, it was a white dress Stella McCartney made. It was made completely out of recycled silk. In a statement, let me just read it. Where is it? Katy Perry's description of Katy Perry's dress. They didn't. So there's like 1 billion pounds of what am I trying to say? Fashion waste, garment waste every year. So she wanted the dress to be made out of recycled material. Anyway, Stella McCartney made it. It's a very simple dress. It's white. It almost symbolizes a futuristic wedding dress. And then she had a mask over her face that she could open and close. Basically, she was poking fun at AI and all the people that create AI images of her because she had gloves that had 6 fingers, which is often a common mistake of like AI things like a third arm, 6 fingers, just stuff like that. The back of her dress, the train, had burn marks in it, which is a hint towards her new era, her new song. There's a rumor that her newest song, her new single for the new era she's releasing will be Watch It Burn. People are saying the dress symbolized the dress she was going to wear for her and Orlando Bloom's wedding, but that it burned up, like the relationship burned up and it's no more. What else? There was something else that she was trying to reference. I want to find that thing. Hang on. Katy Perry attends the 2026 Met Gala in New York City, dressed in custom Stella McCartney. Her glove features a sixth finger, quietly referencing the viral spread of AI-generated fan art that depicted her on the Met Gala red carpet in 2024 and 2025, despite her not attending. Her name was tweeted tons and tons and tons of times, even when she wasn't at the Met Gala, because of these AI-generated looks. This year, Katy collaborated with fan artist I don't know, something Katy Cat, to share an exclusive visual rendering of her look on the carpet before she actually arrived, turning her appearance into performance art that blurs the line between reality and fabrication, and transforming digital misinformation into playful tradition on fashion's biggest night. Every year, over 100 billion pieces of clothing are produced, and every second, a truckload of textiles ends up in landfill. It's satin. I thought it was silk. Katy's satin gown and train are cut from an Italian dead stock Duchess satin, all repurposed from a surplus tailoring fabrics, meaning that no new materials were used to make this dress. The custom headpiece by Miodrag Gubernick captures her public performance as art designed to be literal and symbolic reflection that invites the observer to consider their perception of others can mirror their own internal world and conversely mask the truth. So a lot of things there I didn't understand, but yeah, I think that's great. Also, Stella McCartney is extremely expensive. Like, think of expensive, and then it's even more than that. Other looks I like, Doja Cat, I really liked her. She played it safe this year. She's usually more out there, but she played it really, really safe, but I loved the dress. Actually, let's see. Best Met Gala looks. Also, what was interesting is Blake Lively showed up, and that was the same day that her and Justin Baldoni's lawsuit finally ended. They reached a settlement. It's finally over, but then that's when the news broke. And she still showed up. That's crazy. Notable people that are missing: Taylor Swift, unfortunately, even though her ex-fiance was there, Joe Alwyn. Dua Lipa wasn't there, which makes me really sad because she's Miss Worldwide. She has an album coming out soon. I feel like this is great press. Ariana Grande wasn't there. Very, very sad. Missed her because she's also coming out with a new project. Like, what's going on? What's going on? Another one I really loved was Sabrina Carpenter. Her dress was all film strips, and it was from the film called Sabrina. I guess it's an old movie back in the day. Beyonce's was incredible. She was a co-chair of this Met Gala, and hers looked like a skeleton. Even my mom was like, "Who is the one dressed that looked like a skeleton?" I'm like, "It was Beyonce." She's like, "That was really creative." And my mom's not into fashion or celebrities, so for her to say that is pretty big. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, Emma Chamberlain. Oh, such a good dress. Such a good dress. Who's that? I don't know who that is. I need to make this bigger. Hang on. Let me move my giant my giant Emerald City popcorn bucket because it's in my way. Jeremy Pope, Vivian Westwood, he looks good. I did not see that, but he looks really good. I did not like Gwendolyn Christie's. Beyonce's amazing. Oliver Rousting, he used to do for Balmain. I liked Hailey Bieber's. Usually she wears very boring stuff. This one was pretty cool. It was giving very much Wonder Woman, like the shield, like the corset thing she wears. Liked that. Saint Laurent. I did not like Ashley Graham's. Cara Delevingne's was good. It was simple. And Jeff Bezos was like hosting the event. Him and Lauren Sanchez. Lauren Sanchez's dress was pretty, but that's like for a cocktail dinner on a yacht. That's not for the Met. Like, I don't understand. It's very interesting. Loved Nicole Kidman's. Loved. It's Chanel. She also could have worn this like to any red carpet. It could have been a little bit more, but I did really like it. Who else is? I know I'm missing people, so I want to make sure I get. Oh, I loved Patrick Schwarzenegger. He was actually wearing a real corset. Loved his. I love when men actually come and show up. Kim Kardashian's. How could I forget that? Her dress was actually hand painted by an 80-something-year-old artist. Kim Kardashian and Alan Jones and Whitaker. Talk about a true fashion collaboration. Kardashian wore a modeled breastplate and leather skirt designed by designer Whitaker Milam and British artist Alan Jones. The only thing better than a beautiful sculpture, a wearable sculpture. Hers was good. I actually saw her out earlier, and she dyed her hair. Like, this is a great blonde color. This is almost the blonde color that I liked when clear back when was like that honey, like caramel color. I love that look. I wish she'd keep it more. But her hairstylist, Chris Appleton, was on one of the red carpet things I was watching, and he said, "Oh yeah, we've been bleaching her hair like for a couple days to get it right." So I mean, obviously that's not all of her hair, but she did dye her hair, bleached it. Don't like that at all. SZA's was interesting. Didn't really care for it. Zoe Kravitz was a cool dress, and she had her hands in her pocket the whole time. And I'm like, that's interesting. Are you hiding that supposed engagement ring that Harry Styles has given you? There's so much that I've missed. I'm telling you guys. So like, there's a lot that I haven't even talked about. Let's see. Did not like Coleman Domingos. Wasn't it for me. Connor Story. I did like him. I'm sorry, Jackson, if you're listening to this. I'm kind of burnt out on Heated Rivalry. It's such a good show, but these two are everywhere, and I don't really understand it. I know the show is a cultural phenomenon, but these two are everywhere now. And I get it. That's kind of what you want to do when you're famous and you get like, in the limelight. You want to keep it going. I understand. Trust, I'm a Kardashian fan, but they're like everywhere. This I can see, but like the Peloton ads, Connor Story was on SNL. I'm like, there are people who have been in the industry for a long time that have not gone on SNL. Granted, he has done a good job, but I don't know. I'm just like, there's too much. Plus, I'm mad. I think I'm mad also that they're not releasing it for like a whole other year, almost a year and a half, maybe. That's not necessary. We've learned from Hacks and Abbott Elementary, a couple others, you do not need to wait that long. Like, there's no need to stretch it on. It's all thanks to no thanks to Stranger Things. That is what started it. These like two-year gaps in between stuff. No, enough. Let's see here. I'm trying to get to Gigi Hadid's. I didn't like. Gosh, there's so many. I didn't know My Hawk was there. I kind of fell asleep, and I'm not gonna lie. I was so tired. See, a lot of these dresses were just plain. Like I didn't like it because they weren't anything special. Like Julianne Moore's. This is the first time I'm seeing it. Nothing special. Could have worn that to the Oscars. Wow, there's a lot of people. Okay, Kylie Jenner. I really liked hers. Hers was mimicking a sculpture also from the past, like the girl taking off her clothes. So she's not actually naked, but it looks like she's naked. And the dress is like halfway off her. Who designed it? Schiaparelli. She likes Schiaparelli. And you know what I was upset about was Emily Blunt. She was there this year. And last year her dress was one of my favorites. It was Schiaparelli, but this year she wore like a pantsuit and it wasn't it. I was kind of really disappointed in that, honestly. Let's see. Come on. Somber, I will say he did a good job. I know people like to hate on him, but he actually dressed up. Anne Hathaway, I think she's wearing Dior. No, Michael Kors. It was Michael Kors. Hers was good. It was not anything like super crazy, but it was good. Sabrina Carpenter loved. Sabrina Carpenter's was Dior, but it was that's a wrap. Carpenter wore Dior tulle slit dress made of film strips from this film. Sabrina loved it. Like Sabrina has a concert coming up, a tour. Like this is how you promote it, you guys. Come on. Also, Zendaya wasn't there. That was shocking. I mean, she's very busy right now, but there's a few I want to get to that I'm not seeing here. There's a lot more people here than I thought. I didn't know Gracie Abrams went. I am curious if Kendall and Kylie are going to have a fight because they were very similar vibes. Kendall's dress, I think I like a bit more. It's very tailored, but also messy. But it also has like the fake skin, the revealing skin or whatever. That was from Zach Posen. I think he did a good job. Cher's dress was whatever. It was anything crazy. Madonna, I did not like. I'm so sorry. I didn't like hers at all. Blake Lively's looked like a prom dress. Wasn't in love with it. She usually does a pretty good job on the Met, but didn't love that one. I didn't know Ben Platt was there. I do not like his at all. Yeah, Lauren Sanchez. It was very plain. It was Schiaparelli. They usually do a really good job, but hers was just a normal cocktail dress. I did like Hunter Schafer's dress. It was very cool, very like I don't know, fabric, very florally. What I'm trying to say, cottagey looking. It's from Prada. Love that. No, there's a lot more. Please, please, there's more. Just, you're not to show everybody. I guess I just did the best looking. Yeah. Okay. What else do I need to talk about? I guess there's really no time limit for me, but I'm going to be late to work. I was there very late last night, so I don't really care. Okay, there's a lot of movies I saw. Oh, I went and saw Jurassic Park. So the movie theaters here in Utah, some of them do like rewinds. So like they've done the Hunger Games marathon. They do Harry Potter marathon right now. Well, it might be over now, but the newest one, the Jurassic Park, they brought back. And you can either watch them all at once, or you can do just to pick and choose shows. I'm like, I don't really want to sit for 8 hours in a theater. I'm sorry, 6.5, 7 hours, whatever it is. So I've never seen the first three Jurassic Parks. I know that's crazy. I know because I love the new one and it's like such a classic film. I will say there is a reason this movie was so popular and was so loved by so many people because even this movie, which was made, was it the 90s was it made? It was still extremely entertaining in the theater. Like it was very well done. I give kudos where kudos is due. And this, I completely understand when people are like, this was one of the best movies. I agree. I loved it. I loved every second of it. And it did not feel too old. Obviously, some of the the technology was old. Other than that, like, it was done well. Kudos to you. I just forgot your name. Oh my gosh. What is his name? What is the famous director's name? Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg. Kudos to you. You did a fantastic job. I see why people loved it. I saw The Mummy. Um, I didn't love it. If I would have known who the director was, because they always say it says Lee Cronin's The Mummy. I had no idea who Lee Cronin was, but I had to cover my eyes over a lot of it because it was pretty gory. There were some scenes I just didn't like. I wish I don't want to give any spoilers away, but it was a cool storyline. There were just some things I didn't like. So if you want to see scary movies, whatever, go see this Mummy. This Mummy is nothing like the Brendan Fraser Mummy, so don't expect that. What else did I see? I saw Yumi and Tuscany with my mom. That was a cute one. That was one like everyone's like, can I just wait till I'm at home? It's on streaming. Like, yes, but we need to go support these kind of movies so they come back to theaters. So it was a rom-com. It was based in like Italy. It was light and bright and fun, and I loved every second of it. Cheesy, yes, loved it. Let's see. What else did I see? Euphoria's been on. Euphoria's pretty good. I personally like this new season much, much, much better than the other ones. Much more interesting. There's a scene where Nate is getting beat the shit out of, and it's interesting because he used to be the one doing that to other people. So it's kind of interesting to watch him, how that happened to him, to watch it happen to him or whatever. I'm enjoying it. That's another thing we did in New York. We got Joe's Pizza after Broadway. Joe's Pizza. So when we checked into our hotel, the guy was like showing us a list of pizza places and stuff to go to, and the number one was Joe's Pizza. He crossed it off. He's like, you do not need to go here. He's like, Kim Kardashian made it famous and it's overhyped. Do not go here. And in my mind, I'm like, you have no idea who you're talking to. If Kim Kardashian likes it, I like it. That's one of the reasons I started going to Cheesecake Factory. My aunt took us there once when we were really little, when we were going to Disneyland. And I kind of forgot about it. And then when I was watching Kardashians, Kim Kardashian's like, I love the Cheesecake Factory. It's one of my favorite places. I'm like, looks like I'm going to Cheesecake Factory. So that's one of the reasons I love it. It's also good. I actually ate there last night. Anyway, so we went there. The line was super long. It actually went a lot faster than it looked. If you're discouraged by the line, don't be because it goes pretty fast. Inside, they have just walls of pictures with celebrities that have been there. Dua Lipa has been there a few times. Selena Gomez, like all kinds of different celebrities from all walks of the industry. Kim Kardashian had like 3 or 4 pictures in there. It was delicious. So we bought that, went back and had pizza in the room and watched Euphoria. So it was a great night. Hacks doing well. I'm sad. It's probably close. It's probably halfway through, maybe more than that. It's so good, you guys. Please watch this show. Please, please, please. It's so good. So good. What else? Okay. We went to Record Store Day and I was kind of sad. I had no idea it was even a thing until the person I was with was like, oh, it's Record Store Day tomorrow. We should try and go and get like some records. I'm like, okay, whatever. And I didn't even know like what records they were selling. Selena Gomez had a Droplets vinyl. I really wanted that after I found out what it was. It's just like random singles of hers. And on it was Fetish, and Fetish is one of the greatest pop songs of all time. I will not hear any discussion about it, but it's not on any album. It's just a standalone single, and it's not on any CD or anything. It's on that vinyl, and I didn't get it. I did not get it. So we didn't really get anything we wanted. We did get the Hillary Duff one, which I didn't want. Someone else wanted it, but that's all. That's it. So that made me sad. Taylor Swift was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. I guess the interviewer sent her 25 of songs he wanted to talk to her about and go and like deep dive into. And she sent him back 63. She's like, study up on these songs because we're going to be talking about them. I'm like, that is boss. Like, that is like someone who's not afraid to put their art out there, to put their, their, what they've worked on. They're not ashamed. They love it so much, and she wants to talk about more of it. I think that's so cool. What else is on here? We've got Martha Stewart movies in the works, apparently with Cate Blanchett playing her, and I heard it directly from her. Also, Martha Stewart has a book out. It's called The Martha's Way. It came out yesterday. It's just like tips and tricks on how to do multiple things: gardening, home organization, cooking, cleaning, like all kinds of stuff. So trust I will be getting that. But yeah, she said Cate Blanchett will be playing me apparently, and she's very thrilled about that. I think Cate Blanchett will do a fantastic job. I think the movie's called Martha's Way, Martha Way, something. Just her catchphrase she does. Ticketmaster lost a huge lawsuit, so love that. Hopefully things change. Haley Steinfeld partnered with Ashley Furniture. I think that's interesting for their like premiere collection. Pussycat Dolls has canceled their tour. So Pussycat Dolls, I think Megan Trainor canceled her tour. Oh, I know she did. Oh, I have to talk about this in a minute. Post Malone pushed back his tour. He canceled the first month of it. Someone else did it. It's like the fifth tour in like a few weeks. And someone on Twitter made a good point. They're like, the FOMO from COVID is finally over, and people are sick and tired of paying astronomical prices for ticket prices for them to only go to like 3 cities. So you have to travel to them. Mind you, they're the rich ones. We're not. So we have to travel to them. It's so expensive to go to concerts anymore. Like you literally have to like get online a year in advance to buy tickets and to be in a lottery, like not even be guaranteed to get a ticket. It's like the Ariana Grande. She's going to like 6 cities. People are actually really mad at Olivia Rodrigo, and I do not blame them because she's not coming to Utah, which is where she wrote driver's license. She wrote pretty much the whole thing is sour here. Yeah, it's really annoying because then someone pulled up an old video of her first tour here. She's like, Utah and Salt Lake has such a special place in my heart. It's where I wrote this song. I just love it here so much. And they don't come here? Really? Really? Interesting. Because I guarantee you, if she came to Salt Lake, it would be packed. It would be sold out. Like, that's just how it is with her. She has a huge fan base here. It's just really annoying. And I get the only way they really make money anymore is by touring. So they're going to do it as efficiently as possible. So they make as much money as possible. But at the end of the day, you're just like ostracizing like a lot of your fan base. It doesn't help that we have LA, Las Vegas, Phoenix, and Denver all so close to us. That really pulls a lot of the artists away from us, which is super annoying. So that is annoying. Also, one thing about Taylor Swift, this is actually really cool. So in her contract, she negotiated once because I think it's Universal Music Group owned a ton of shares in Spotify, and she said, if you sell your shares, you have to pay your artists. Like you have to split it up and pay your artists, and it can't go towards the artist's debts that they owe to you. Because basically, like what happens is the studios, the record labels, gives them a budget for studio time, touring, music videos, press, like marketing, whatever, and that they pay it back as the album sells and whatever until it's paid off. What usually happens in the past is that debt that if they sold Spotify shares would go towards their debts and not go into the pockets of the artists. And Taylor Swift said, I'll only sign if when you sell your stock, the money goes directly into the artist's bank accounts. And it's a lot of artists. Universal Music Group is huge. So it's artists like Lana Del Rey, Sabrina Carpenter, I think The Weeknd, I want to say Ariana Grande, and someone's like, oh, I know she's pissed, Billie Eilish, because Billie Eilish is always calling out Taylor Swift on stupid shit, even though she does the same stuff. Billie Eilish is one of the most hypocritical people I've ever seen. Like, and it just keeps getting worse. There's stuff that comes out day by day that I'm like, you literally are getting mad at people for doing that. Like she's like constantly calling out billionaires and do not support billionaires, but then she has James Cameron direct her concert film and she sits down and talks one-on-one with him and talks about how much she adores him and stuff. I'm like, he's a billionaire. She's mad at people for eating meat, and then there's videos of her eating chicken nuggets. Like it's so annoying. Anyway, so yeah, so people are like, I know Billie Eilish is seething right now because Taylor Swift helped her. She helped her make more money. Like it's just interesting. But that is the pull and the leverage of Taylor Swift. That is how powerful she is. And I think that's absolutely amazing. Okay, I think we'll end on this. We're gonna end on this because it's like sad. It's sad, but it would be hard. I think about this a lot. So this is kind of ties into what I'm talking about. Would you rather never be rich or be rich and then lose it all? What would you rather have? I go back and forth on this a lot. Like, would you like to know what it's like to have money and then not have it, but you know what it felt like, but then you're poor for the rest of your life? Or would you rather just be poor for your whole life and know what it's like and not really have any expectations or like any knowledge of anything greater? Same goes with, would you rather never be famous or be famous and then lose it all? I mean, Katy Perry is obviously still an A-lister, but I mean, she was the most famous person in the world and it went all crashing down. It came tumbling down. Like, I love how her music's starting to recirculate. Like, the one that got away is getting almost 3 million streams per day on Spotify. Like, and before that was it Legendary Lovers, I think it was that. And before that, it was Thinking of You. Like, people are rediscovering her music. A lot of young people are discovering her music through TikTok and stuff. And they're like realizing, oh, this is actually good. This is good classic music that's going to hold up for a very, very long time versus the slop and crap they just pump out nowadays. Like, go on to Spotify's top 100 and tell me, how many people you know on that list versus how many people you have no idea who it is. And then listen to some of the songs and you'll be like, what? Like, it's just because of how it is now with the virality of social media and streaming. That's just how it is. But I love that people are rediscovering Katy Perry's music and being like, oh, I love this is such a great song. Yeah, because it's iconic and classic and timeless. Um, anyway, so would you rather never be famous or be famous and lose it all? And like have everyone just like hate you, like a hate train. It's kind of how it is with Lizzo. This is so bad. She has a new song. Granted, it is one of the ugliest album covers I've ever seen. It's her flipping off the camera, and the middle finger is her. It's like a shrunk down version of her. And you guys, it is so bad. I think the album's called Bitch, is what it's called. The new single I know for sure is called Bitch. It debuted on Spotify with 9,000 streams. That's really bad. Someone was like, how do you even recover from this? How do you even bounce back from this? And then I saw today that Megan Trainor's album debuted at 198 on Billboard with 10,000 units sold. I'm like, that is like at one time Megan Trainor was super popular, but people complain about her because they say she doesn't evolve. She hasn't evolved. And someone's like, who is her music for? Like, what is her demographic? Because you can't really tell. Someone also said, like, give kudos to her for being able to make the same song over and over and over again. And it is kind of true. And I like Megan Trainor. I really do. But like some people are mad that she's lost weight. They're like, that kind of goes against her. Oop, I just moved the camera. Sorry. I pulled the cord. I'm so sorry. Anyway, but I'm like, how sad is that? You can't even get people are going to assume she's not healthy just because she's taken GLP-1s, which, I mean, if that helps you, it helps you. But like, there's a difference between taking GLP-1s and exercising and keeping up like an appearance versus like the skeletal look of someone who just takes the drug and doesn't like exercise, doesn't eat properly. You know what I mean? I feel like she looks good, but people are like, I don't like her skinny. I'm like, that is so sad. Isn't that sad? Like, you finally get to a body that you're proud of or whatever, and people are like, I want fat you back. Anyway, okay. We've been talking for a long time, and this is the longest episode we've ever done, but I hope it was interesting. I hope you liked my New York story. I think about that trip over and over and over again. It was such a good trip. Loved it. If you haven't been to New York, haven't been in a while, please go and just do as much as you can. Like, don't just like hang. That's not a place you to go to hang out. That is a place you go to be exhausted. And I stand by that 100%. So I think that's it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. I'm really grateful for anyone that watches, and I hope that we can just grow this community to be little pop culture obsessed people. Or if you don't even like pop culture, but some people are like, I don't even know what you're talking about, but I like listening to you talk. I'm like, wow, thank you, because I used to hate my voice. Hate, hate, hate. My friend Mallory loves when I say hate because it's with such passion, such like vitriol. You know what I mean? I used to hate my voice. Like I kind of do when I'm looking back at concert videos. I've learned not to sing when I want to record a video that I want to be able to post, because your voice will be caught on camera. Other than that, like, I kind of quickly got over the hatred of my voice, which is a good thing because it's what I do. So I had to get used to it. Anyway, subscribe, rate, review. Please watch on YouTube. Please subscribe on YouTube. Follow me on my TikTok pages, my Instagram pages, and I will see you next. I'm not gonna promise this coming out on Wednesday, but I'll see you next Wednesday. All right, that's it. Bye. And scene.